You think you can just sit there and cause this chaos? This is all your fault! You need to fix it right now!
She took his seat, his next words silenced the plane. A manicured finger jabbed the air inches from his face. You need to move. Now. The first-class cabin went silent. Conversation stopped. Glasses froze mid-air. Even the soft hum of the engines felt louder in the sudden tension. The man being confronted didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He didn't apologize. Dressed in a plain black hoodie and jeans, with a worn backpack resting quietly at his feet, he simply looked up at her, calm, steady, unreadable. To everyone watching, it made no sense. First-class seats on this Apex Global flight cost more than most people's monthly rent. And yet here he was, relaxed, silent, as if he belonged there. The woman standing over him clearly didn't think so. She glanced at his clothes. Then at the seat number. Then back at his face. I don't know how you got this seat, she said sharply, but it's not yours. A nearby flight attendant slowed her steps. Her eyes flicked from the woman's diamond ring to the man's backpack. And back again. Judgments were already being made. What no one in that cabin realized yet was that this confrontation wasn't an accident. And the man in the hoodie hadn't taken the wrong seat. He was exactly where he needed to be. What happened next would force the flight crew to make a decision they were not prepared for. The flight attendant stopped beside them. Is there a problem here? She asked, already scanning the situation. Yes, the woman said immediately. He's in my seat. The attendant turned to the man. Sir, may I see your boarding pass? Without a word, he handed it over. She glanced down. Then frowned. The seat number matched. Her eyes lifted slowly. This seat is assigned to you, she said carefully. The woman scoffed. That can't be right. I paid extra for first class. Look at him. The words hung in the air longer than she expected. A few passengers shifted uncomfortably. Others leaned in, pretending not to stare. The attendant hesitated. Policies clashed with pressure. Facts collided with assumptions. Sir, she said, lowering her voice, would you mind standing for a moment while we sort this out? The man nodded and rose calmly to his feet. Not a single complaint. Not a single protest. And that silence made the cabin even louder. What the attendant didn't know was who she was really speaking to. Standing now, he looked even more out of place to them. The woman crossed her arms, visibly satisfied. I told you, she muttered. These things always work themselves out. The attendant stepped aside, tapping quickly on her tablet. Another crew member approached. Then another. Whispers passed between them. The man waited. Calm. Patient. Watching. His fingers brushed against a small leather notebook he'd been holding the entire time. No one noticed. The captain hadn't been informed yet. Ground control hadn't been called. And that delay was a mistake. That was the moment one quiet detail changed everything. Finally, the attendant returned. Sir, she said, firmer now, I'm going to need you to relocate to economy until we finish boarding. For the first time since this began. He spoke. I won't be moving. The cabin froze again. The woman laughed in disbelief. Unbelievable. The man turned to the attendant, his voice calm, measured. Before you escalate this any further, he said, I suggest you call your operations director. The attendant blinked. I'm sorry. He opened the leather notebook. Inside was a simple card. One name. One title. Daniel Okoye. Chairman, Apex Global Aviation Group. The color drained from her face. I own a controlling stake in this airline, he continued quietly. And I'm here to evaluate a very specific issue. Silence. Absolute silence. Every assumption in that cabin collapsed in real time. By the time they realized who he really was, the damage was already done. The attendant's hands trembled as she stepped back. I'm so sorry, sir. By the time they realized who he really was, the damage was already done. The attendant's hands trembled as she stepped back. I'm so sorry, sir. The woman's smile vanished. That's not funny, she said. This is some kind of joke. Daniel didn't look at her. Moments later, a senior crew member rushed in. Then the captain himself. Apologies came fast. Too fast. The woman was quietly asked to gather her belongings. Her seat had never been hers. As she walked past him, she couldn't meet his eyes. Neither could the crew member who had hesitated. But the consequences didn't stop there. After the flight, formal complaints were filed. Policies were reviewed. Staff were retrained. One employee was quietly reassigned. Daniel never raised his voice. Never demanded punishment. He simply observed. Later, in a private meeting, he explained why he had boarded dressed the way he did. Assumptions reveal more than truth ever could, he said. That flight became a case study inside the company. A reminder. That respect should never be based on appearance. And that power doesn't always announce itself. What would you have done if you were in his place? Tell me in the comments.